Hello and welcome. It's the Dusty Auspex podcast. This is season 6, episode 4. The internet calls me producer Josh. I'm not joined by Fabio today, or Kyle, or Thurston. I have with me a special guest, Kel from Games from the North.
Hello.
Tell us a little bit about Games from the North.
Games of the North is a fairly new broadcast on Twitch, and we essentially broadcast anything that we're gaming. It's board games, RPGs. We go to Comic-Cons, anything that you can think of, we're usually at and streaming.
Nice.
Even I do some artwork. Even I did some ASMR stuff.
Oh,
yeah,
excellent.
Yeah, so I'm just trying a bit of everything. Yeah.
What do you guys usually stream?
Typically it's board games.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Typically board games, mostly RPGs as well. We do Thursday nights at game night is with Cliff, one of the hosts. And so that's our usual go-to. And then he does some games at home as well and streams those. So board games and RPGs are the main go-tos.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And Cliff and Kel are both in the Echoes of Eternity Kill Team League, which is the star of tonight's show. I'm really sorry.
Why?
It's not either of us. It's the Kill Team.
That's
League. It's the
okay.
show. Okay, cool.
That's okay.
Anyway,
it deserves it.
thank you. That's very kind. So we'll be talking mostly about Kill Team today. A couple quick plugs before I do that. Remember, Planes of War is coming up. We are 50% sold out. We've got a special hotel code happening at the Holiday Inn Airport Polo Park. If you give your code as Planes of War, you can get your ticket for about 30% off, which is a huge discount. And make sure you're registered on BCP before the event for that. And for the May Bunker Buster. We just had the April Bunker Buster happen. It was a huge success. May Bunker Buster is coming up again. It's going to be 40k. So get your lists ready. Get used to Bolter Discipline. Get used to a lot of chaos. We're seeing that in the meta these days.
That's one I want to come check out.
Yes.
Yeah, as someone new to it.
We've got a lot of gorgeous lists and a lot of well-painted lists here in Winnipeg.
I definitely enjoyed seeing people's teams and how they painted it and all of that. Yeah.
Professor, we have WP Goobaroo in the chat saying, Kelly! I assume you know them.
I don't know.
Perhaps they are
Who
hosted
are you?
from Games from the North.
Maybe, I don't know.
And, Professor Grant says, hello, great people to game with. I'm sure you are too. I know you at some point will figure it out. My memory's trash.
I'm bad with like aliases online versus like I can never connect the dots unless they're like, this is me.
That's fair.
This is me. This is a picture. Oh yeah, okay.
All right. So those are the quick plugs off the top. We'll have more soon, including the names of the winners for our POW discount coupons and the next 2 ways you can sign up for enter to win a discounted POW ticket. But first, Echoes of Eternity. Now, this is like your first foray into wargaming, right?
It is. It really is.
The Kill Team is designed for that. It's designed to be the skirmish level. Just buy a box and a book and build a few models and get started. Has it succeeded in that for you? Like, tell me a bit about that.
It has. It took a little time, but by a little time, I mean like a week. I think the first time I opened the box of my first kit, and I bought 2 at the same time for my AdNet team. That was a little bit overwhelming.
Yeah, that's fair.
I basically going into it not knowing anything about building from the get-go and just knowing a little bit about painting miniatures. I kind of was a little headstrong, I think, at first, but that's okay. You know what? I'm the type that learns by doing it. So it was one night of, oh God, what am I doing? Can I do this? I don't know what I'm doing. And then quickly I was like, okay, this is awesome. I like it. I started to build my team and it really hit home. And I'm really like, I put names to them, funky names, and just, they're very personal to me, right? That's what I like about it.
And AdMech, like, you picked Adeptus Mechanicus,
Yes.
which was in the starter box, but isn't necessarily like a super easy faction to build and paint. There's a lot of little technical bits and
There
stuff.
are. But I enjoyed that part of it too. It's just, I think, as I said, I didn't know what to expect going into it. So I probably should have done a little more research first, but that's just who I am. And I think it worked out in the long run. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, like, tell me about your team. Who have you put together? What are their names? What have they done? How have they beat up on Cliff?
Oh dear, I should have brought my list. I don't have I've only played 1 game with them.
Okay.
And it was against Cliff, and
Okay.
I did win. Sorry, not sorry.
Anyway.
I think he might have helped a little bit though.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he might have a soft spot for me.
It's kind of them.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like I'm gonna miss some of the names, but I've essentially put together 3 longer range characters.
Okay.
And 4 that are melee and kick your butt up front, like get to the forefront and
Good.
kick them before they can do anything to you. So, and given the first game with Cliff that I played, I actually really enjoyed playing the Infiltrator Princeps and the I'm blanking on that other name. Anyways, the 2 melee that are right up front that have the transonic blades and the Torg claw and all of that, those were amazing. And I could tell they scared Cliff a little bit. He's like, okay, and then flew away.
Was it a Sicarian Infiltrator?
That's
The other guy?
yes, yeah. Well, so I had the Sicarian Infiltrator Princeps, and then there's another one that's
Ruststalker?
Ruststalker. That's it. Or Rustwalker. I'm sorry.
I think it's Ruststalker.
Ruststalker.
I mostly play Tyranids and everything that's not Imperium.
I'm embarrassing myself.
I'm vague. No, it's fine. It's fine.
I need to do some research because it was me, like, basically looked like I was in university again. I had all the books that I needed spread out. I had thought I had made enough notes and things like that, but that's going to require some cutting and pasting, I think.
That's fair.
So I think I need to do some studying and some, I think, memorizing as to what does what, and yeah.
But it sounds like you've got a very fairly balanced list there. You've got some melee to keep them off you. You got some guns to shoot them anyway.
Yeah, I'm thinking after that first game, I might actually do an alternate team and try it with taking one member off of the longer range and putting them on the melee more. That seemed to be the strong point. And from the little bit of research I did, that definitely is what the Sicarians are for. I might be saying that wrong. I'm sorry if I am.
It's okay. Don't worry about it. We're welcome you here on the Dusty Auspex.
Okay.
It's totally fine.
At least my grammar is mostly correct.
No, it's cool.
But yeah, I really, really enjoyed it. I was a bit overwhelmed, and so it was slow going of a game. It took us quite a while, but it was so much fun. Like, I've fallen in love with it pretty damn quickly, and
that's great to hear.
Yeah.
So that sort of ties into my first question. What pulled you in about it? Because wargaming as a whole, and Kill Team to a lesser extent, or to I should say a more microcosmic extent, like there's a bunch of different ways it appeals to people. There's on the battlefield, succeeding in the game and doing well. There's the strategic elements that way.
Yeah.
There's building and painting the models, which I've always found to be very zen, even if I'm entirely terrible at painting models. Don't ask me to do any of that. I will scream and run.
Have you ever shown them on the channel? Or like here?
No.
I've shown them out.
Way back briefly when I did a column for a website for belowgaming.com. I talked about sort of like my fears dealing with painting, and I showed like the first model I had ever painted from scratch, which is a Tyranid Broodlord, which I use to this day as my Broodlord commander in Kill Team, and we'll talk about Kill Team commanders later in the show. Segue. But yeah, like it's always been like this skill cliff that I have to ascend. Shout out Cliff.
Like an intimidation thing?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like just a little anxious because
I get
in
that.
my life I've done a bunch of different performance stuff, production stuff, etc., etc. But painting I've never done.
Okay.
There was a while where I was just like, so I just take the paint straight from the pot and put it on the model, right? Can I dip it? Can I dip the model in the thing?
Yeah, do we need the brush? I mean, that's a thing, right?
Yes.
You could do it.
It was, and it was, as I understand, it was very popular back in the 80s. But now there's a lot of painting tutorials at YouTube that I'm going to pretend to have the time to go through.
Yeah.
And
I like to think I have that time, but I don't. So mine are all unpainted right now, and I'm finding that intimidation factor is there as well, but it's more of like, for me, a perfectionist thing. Like, I'm concerned about how they're going to turn out because I have this picture in my mind. So yeah, it might take me a little while to get to them, but they're built at least. I finally finished building them the other day. So, cause I had borrowed a couple from Thurston for the game on last Friday, just so I could get it in. Cause I had signed up at the last moment and I wanted to be in the league. And yeah, I joined basically because Cliff had just joined, and I'm actually a roommate of his. So I saw him building it, and I was just like, watching, and we talked about playing games, like we play everything together. And I was just like, oh, okay, this is nice. And he joked about getting me a set for my birthday, which is in end of May. And yeah, I didn't last that long. I was like, okay, I'm doing it. Yeah. And I'm happy I did. It's I went for it, and I really looked through the different types of teams, and I picked what fit and worked for me. I almost went chaos, and that would have been completely different from what I normally would do. So I went with something that was a bit more true to myself and more like, I don't know, I like the steampunk aspect of AdMech and sort of the mixture of technology and just, I don't know, they have a bit of quirkiness to them that I like.
Yes, they definitely do.
Yeah.
And for me, it was like, when I picked my factions in Warhammer 40k, the main game, before I went to Kill Team. I always enjoy playing the villain, playing the other, playing something that's as weird and different as possible. Yeah. So I picked Tyranids because I enjoyed like the horde, hive mind, rush up, and like just drown you in bodies sort of gameplay. Without a little bit of the sort of the attitude of orcs. Like, a lot of people like that, but that wasn't for me. I just wanted like insect hive mind.
Can we play at some point?
Yeah,
that would be fun. That would be really fun.
Definitely.
I'm just like, oh, I don't know. Like I said, I've only played against Cliff on last Friday. That was my first month game, just trying to get it in there. Yep. And then I don't remember if it was, I think it was with Fabio and a couple other people that I had dropped in on a Kill Team on Friday event at game night as well. Yep. And me and Cliff just sort of jumped in because they asked if we wanted to play. I don't remember if you were there or not. Possibly not. But that was my first game. I had no idea what I was doing. And I was so overwhelmed. But then I was like, okay, I get this. I got it. It's good.
It clicks after a while,
it does.
Which is nice.
Yeah. And I like the way the dice rolling is set up and all of that. It really fits. And it's very, I found it intuitive pretty quickly. So
it's very literal too, because unlike other games that will abstract it with spaces on a board or hexes, it's you move this many inches. This is literally where the model is. You draw literally from there to the main body of the other model. So, chicken in on the chat. Professor Grant says, Kill Team is so much fun. Bugs, bugs, bugs. I am with you on that, sir. Absolutely.
I'm excited to squish the bugs.
That terrifies me.
Just a little slicey.
Yeah, a little bit. Kay Grumman says, Kill Team, shout out to you. I know who you are, and great.
I think I know that one too.
Right?
Right?
WP Guru says...
oh, that would be Justin. That's one of our other hosts.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Considering getting involved, does a lot of the PC gaming on Games from the North, so that's fantastic. Down Under Network says Demons All the Way. So a little bit of a shout out there. I have seen some of those show up in the Echoes of Eternity Kill Team League that 40 Below Gaming runs. More shout outs and plugs about that later. I kind of like to condense it. I have some conversation.
I understand,
and some sell out plug stuff and then more conversation. So
kind of compartmentalizing a little bit. Not in the mind, but directly out there.
Thank you for the comments, Professor Grant on my gaming. I appreciate it. And he also says, loves AdMech and the lore, because they do have like a wonderful place. They're sort of like the tech priests of Mars supporting the Imperium.
Okay. I should read more of that. That might help me to like feel them out a bit more and maybe remember more pieces of them.
Yeah. Cliff has found his way into the chat. That's fantastic. Hey, Cliff.
So we've got all three Games from the North hosts in the chat. Or, well, me.
Excellent.
In person, representing.
Glad you guys could come to the show today. It's fantastic.
Justin is, he does mainly our PC gaming. And he does, oh my gosh, building as well, but I can't remember the name of it. Gunpla.
Oh,
Gundams.
Nice.
And he's like our top tech guy. Like he knows everything about the tech side of things. So we're learning, and then me and Cliff mainly do the board gaming and things and RPGs, and Justin does some of the RPGs with us as well. So we're all kind of spanning a lot of things.
Perfect.
And then I cover the hippie artsy side sometimes.
Yeah, that makes sense. So Games from the North is our guest in the Dusty Auspex. Make sure you check them out at twitch.tv/Games from the North. Back to Kill Team discussion. What has been your favorite moment so far? Whether it's building or painting, or learning the game we're playing, or beating up on Cliff. I'm gonna keep coming back to that.
I was gonna say actually the first kill I got was pretty awesome.
What happened?
I don't even remember. That's how exciting it was. I was a little. Oh, I just was so loud. Sorry.
Okay.
I was overwhelmed, and I was just like, did that just happen? Like, it was just exciting. I think because just to see my Kill Team perform and see it work out in that way, I think was like a proud moment. It's like a mama of a Kill Team.
Nice. That's excellent.
Yeah, so that was fun. And just also seeing his team, I like, because I don't know anything else about anything. Like, Warhammer related, I am a newbie to the extreme.
Yeah.
still learning my own team as I had shown. But yeah, that was fun to see his team and how they reacted, and the strategy that the Tau have that he
Yes.
uses. And even to see the paint job and how that looked on the field, and that was really cool. So we had sort of a setup that looked a lot like Tatooine, sort of like the
Excellent.
city of it,
Yeah, like a
the
desert
sand
world sort of
city.
thing? Excellent.
Yeah, so that was kind of fun, and
Okay.
it looked really good.
And I understand you won that game 4-0. Like, can you break that down for me? What was your strategy? How did you take the points from him?
I just went, okay, so I don't know. It was a bit of a
No
just a
worries.
bit of a cluster, you know what. Basically I tried to keep I essentially kept my range guys back exactly where they pretty much stayed
Okay.
right from the get-go. And it was in like a corner behind one piece of I don't structure, some sort of structure, like a
Yeah.
silo type thing, because I have a guy that has an arquebus.
Yep.
And if he moves, he can't use it, right? So I just kind of wanted to position him back there, and I had my leader and my comms back there. So that worked out okay, but it really came down to like the melee guys, and I just like bolted as much as I could, advanced, and then charged when I could. And that was, I think, really what did it for that. So I took out a couple key players, and that was it.
Excellent.
Yeah.
The Tau are very weak to melee. If you can get
Are
in
they?
with
Okay.
them,
Okay.
they're good. Like they are the ranged faction.
Yeah.
They sit there with some very powerful rail rifles
Yeah.
with tons of AP and damage,
Right.
and they'll pick you off from
Yeah.
range. But if you can get in close and force them into melee, they will usually fold because
Yeah.
all of their power is in those guns.
That makes sense. And that's what I'm trying to figure out if I need to switch something, because almost making two teams and trying it again with a different team with one more melee element versus the ranged. Because my worry is you don't want to go all melee necessarily, because then you're stuck, if he continues to fly away from me, I'm never going to catch up, right? And he'll just keep picking me off with railguns
Yeah.
or something. So I'm trying to find that balance and seeing what strategy speaks to me at this point.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And the neat thing about Kill Team is that you can do what's called a command roster. Now, the Echoes of Eternity League isn't calling for this yet. It doesn't require this because I wanted to keep it as accessible as possible.
Okay.
Just show up with whatever 100 points a Kill Team suits your fancy this month and get the game in. Doesn't even have to be painted.
Yeah, I'm glad that you did that, because that allowed me to join.
Yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't have been able to
wanted
join otherwise.
Just intake as
Yeah.
many new people as
Awesome.
possible. But a command roster is when you're doing multiple games of Kill Team over the course of a tournament or a campaign.
Right.
You pick maximum 20 models, and you build all those, and you give like many of them specialisms. And then from those 20 models, you figure out your mission and your opponent.
Okay.
And then you select which models you're going to
Oh.
be playing with. So
Okay.
if you realize you're playing against Cliff's Tau, and he's going to have some big guns, and
Yeah.
he's going to be incredibly frightened if you get into melee with him. He is cursing your arquebus in the chat. He has said,
Oh.
"Damn aquabus." So
I don't think it even did damage, though. I don't remember that doing damage, but
No, but
I
it
think
is
he was a little.
intimidating.
It was.
it's
Yeah.
like a mile long.
Yes, and I was just like right away. I was like, "Yep,
Bam.
hi."
Exactly. So if you're playing against that, like you might bring an
Yeah.
extra melee person in too.
Okay.
Whereas if you're playing against my Tyranids,
Mm-hmm.
for example, and I usually run a very low model count army, like maybe
Okay.
4 or 5 models.
Wow.
And they're all like big, tough monsters
Yeah.
that have multiple wounds and stuff.
Okay.
That are good in melee. You don't want to rush up to me. Maybe you want to try and put some cheap models up front to
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
hold me off and lean
Pick you off
more
from
into the
behind.
range.
Yeah, that makes sense. So are those more like tank characters in a way?
So, and we'll get to, well, why don't we do this right now? So we have a segment on the show called List of the Week.
Oh dear.
Where we talk about a list that's usually from somewhere on the internet. Maybe
Okay.
it won a tournament. Maybe it's just a fun list that someone wanted to put together.
Okay.
But for this special Kill Team week, I decided, Professor Grant says, free the crew. Yeah, I hear ya. I decided to put my own list up for discussion.
Ooh.
So,
I might not have much to contribute at that point.
This is totally fine. I'm going to...
If you had the models out, I'd be like, ooh, pretty.
I don't, unfortunately. I'm just going to gush for 20 minutes.
Okay,
I'm just-
you go for it.
So, this is the list of the week, as you guys can see on the screen right now. This is a very high, sort of elites type of a list. In Kill Team, you'll find that if you run with fewer models, which is often my choice, you're less exposed to morale issues and break tests.
Okay.
because once half your team is either killed, has flesh wounds, or is shaken,
Right.
which are sort of kill team exclusive status conditions.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
You have to start taking break tests to see if your team has just sort of lost its
Yeah.
will. Tyranids don't have to do that. They're
Oh.
all extensions of an insect hive mind,
Yeah,
so
that makes
morale happens to other people. And I still have to do break tests, but
Okay.
if I'm only running 5 models as I am right here,
Yeah.
I'm less exposed to that.
Okay.
So we start with my leader, which is a Tyranid warrior with scything talons and rending claws. He's designed to be in melee, and usually what I'll do is I'll leave him in the backfield protecting my heavy and comms, which I'm going to get
That
to in
makes
a
sense,
second.
yeah.
That way, if someone wants to come up and interfere with them,
Yeah.
I can rush him out from behind a corner and charge
Yeah.
them first. I can use the Tyranid Tactic Metabolic Overdrive,
Okay.
which is 2 command points, lets me do 2 move actions, but I risk taking a wound just from doing that. Because
Okay.
I'm
But that gets him
burning
out in front
neurons
there and is like, heck
faster.
no.
Yeah. Like, no,
No,
honey,
that's not
no.
happening.
Oh, no,
No,
she
shutting
better
that
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I've got my 3 specialists, which are another warrior who is my heavy with the Venom Cannon. The Venom Cannon is very nice, I have found, because it is strength 8, AP -2, and D3 damage per shot. And it gets D3 shots per round.
Okay.
So there's not a lot in Kill Team that is higher than toughness 4. You've
Yeah.
got the Death Guard with toughness 5, the
Okay.
Nurgle Chaos Marines, who are all
okay.
like plague zombies.
Yeah.
They're toughness 5. They're up there. There's a couple that are also up there, but strength 8 is usually enough to be really good at wounding whatever's in
course,
front of
yeah.
you.
Yeah.
So I sit that warrior at the back,
Makes sense.
and he's joined by my comms officer, which, knock knock, hi dad, how are you? Who has a Death Spitter, which is a very solid weapon, and they just sort of both fire at whatever I want to hit. The Venom Cannon goes after the biggest target.
Yeah.
My friend Michael runs Death Watch, which has a frag cannon, which is the most terrifying gun in the game.
I
so
almost did Death Watch. Very close.
They are very good, and there's
Yeah.
a ton of character you can get out of those
Nice.
models.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I will hit them with the Venom Cannon as soon as I possibly
Okay.
can. And get the comms bonus from his comms officer.
Yeah.
So each kill team, for those of us just joining us and who are still learning about kill team, you have to have one leader specialist. Each of your models will have like specialisms they can choose from. You have to have one leader, and what he does or she does is they generate 1 command point for your team each turn. You get 1 each turn for being a kill team.
Yeah.
So with a leader, you get 2 command points per turn that you can then spend on tactics.
Yeah.
And then you can have up to 3 other specialists, and every model will have a set of specialist tags that you can choose from,
Right.
and like a specialist skill tree earlier in the core rulebook that gives you
Yeah.
different abilities as you level up.
Yeah.
So I've got my leader, my heavy, and my comms, which we've talked about. The heavy gets bonuses, like he doesn't suffer penalties for moving and shooting. So
Right.
with a heavy specialist, with the transuranic arquebus that you've got, you could move and shoot with that
Yeah.
without suffering the
I
penalty.
thought about that, and I almost went with that, and then I changed my mind and put in a zealot, I believe.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but again, that's something I might shift around because I
That's
like
fair.
the idea of that. I think it'd be more flexible, and I wouldn't be so scared to move him.
Yeah. Your comms officer is sort of a mid-range one. What it does is it will pick one model each shooting phase, and the model that it picks to help gets +1 on all of its attacks to
Right.
shoot that shooting
That's handy.
phase.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then lastly, I've got my Lictor, who's my combat specialist. Normally, Lictors get 3 attacks per turn.
Okay.
This Lictor gets 4.
Wow.
And like the Lictor is a 25-point model. It's the most expensive model in the core rulebook because it has 4 wounds, and it's one of the only ones that can hit and usually wound on like a 2-up and a 3-up.
Okay.
So it's devastating in melee if I can get it there. It's got
That's
a
good
high
to know.
speed. Yeah, like
I'm like, do you have a pen? Should I
priority
start taking
target. Well,
strategy tips?
this podcast will be on Twitch for the next 2
Right.
weeks, after which it will be exported to YouTube. We'll have a
Nice.
YouTube playlist that's launching probably next Monday.
Okay.
So you'll be able
I'll
to
be able to
review
study
for
before
notes.
before we battle.
Yeah. So my Lictor gets into combat,
Okay.
and then he's got 4 attacks that are hitting on 2s and have AP -1 and 2 damage each, and like he's just munching on you.
That's
What he
awesome.
does.
Just wrecks everyone in front of him.
Yeah. So he usually goes out in front and draws attention and fire because people aren't used to seeing big, scary
Yeah.
Lictors running around the field.
Of course.
And finally, I have a cheeky Turnibagant that's no specialist at all. It's just got a Devourer, so it fires 3 shots around instead of 1.
Yeah.
And it's usually there explicitly so my opponent forgets about it.
Oh, really?
and I can just leave it hanging there,
Oh.
sit it on an objective,
Yep.
maybe hide it around the corner and take a
Okay.
few pot shots at something my lictor is also going
Yeah.
at.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I had some leftover points, and Tyranids are good that they have very inexpensive models.
Okay.
But sometimes, like, that can be a downside. They're very cheap, they're easy to lose. However, if I can cram one in and have my opponent usually, like, not look at it, I can use it to score an objective that he's
makes
not paying
sense.
attention
Yeah.
to, or I can use it to get some extra shots in at something
Right.
I really need to take down.
Yeah.
So my
Smart.
my Termagant is that's what he's there for. He's a lovely little friend, and I adore him very much.
Yeah.
And he is the world's toughest Termagant because he has suffered flesh wounds more often than not. And keep in mind, these are like cannon fodder
Yep.
monsters that aren't supposed to live. The
Yeah.
Termagant has 1 wound and a 6-up save.
Yeah.
It's very, very fragile. But no, the Termagant in my kill team is like the Nick Fury of Termagants. I swear it has like 6 scars and 1 eye.
Does he have a name?
No. It's Tyranids.
Oh.
None of them have names.
I didn't know
They are
this.
all extensions of the hive mind.
Okay,
They're
right.
all one thing in the end.
That totally reminds me of Ender's Game. Actually, when I was reading Kill Team and I read about them in the
Yeah.
Hive Mind, I had read a few of the series that
Yes.
started with Ender's Game,
Yeah.
and a lot of it was about the Hive Mind and how that worked, and I just found that fascinating. It just totally triggered that when I was reading about them.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
how they protect the queen
Yeah.
and like that shifting sphere. I read the
Yeah.
first novel and I think Ender's Shadow.
Okay.
So yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely like
Just
that's,
made me think of
that's
that.
what I play.
Yeah.
Now I also have a Custodes army
Okay.
in 40k that I'm working on, and they will be launching in Kill Team with the release of the Kill Team Elites expansion later
Oh,
this
okay.
year.
Yeah.
Those folks will have names
Okay.
because they are humans who have names.
Yeah.
But Tyranids, no.
Okay.
They are faceless monsters.
Gotcha.
Part of the terror is that they are nameless and they don't care.
I wish I had brought my list because I made up some fantastic names.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but yeah.
Tell me about them next time you see me. Tell us about them
Yeah.
when you're at Fridays at Game Night.
Yeah.
So, we're about 40 minutes into the show.
Sure.
This is where we do a couple of quick sponsor plugs.
Okay.
Game Night Games and Cool Stuff is our presenting sponsor for 2019 into 2020. They have been fantastic. They have helped us host our Bunker Busters, a number of other events, and they host the Games from the North podcast, as Kel has mentioned earlier in the show. How have
Yeah.
they been for you?
They've been amazing. We've been going to game night, well, most of my life, I would say, like since I was a teenager. My brother actually ran the WoW TCG. He was the rep for it for a while at the old location. So I would just kind of like come out and geek out as just not knowing what to play. And then when I became friends with Cliff, I just started to come to his Thursday night RPGs with Cliff.
Okay.
And it's always at game night. It was at the old location and it's at the new one now. And yeah, we broadcast that now every Thursday. And we change up
Excellent.
RPGs. So we try a number of things. Right now we're playing Torg and it's awesome. This Thursday we have some guys from Extra Life coming.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it's been really good. Game night is amazing. It's one of my favorite places. Like I consider it like a second home.
Yeah.
I kind of want to live. They have this. They have the beautiful murals on the inside of the store, where we play from. You can see that sort of over the washrooms. It looks like there's like a some sort of an alcove up there with half a door.
Okay.
I'm like, can I just like rent a room up there, please?
Dynamic there.
Yeah,
So, yeah,
I just want to live there.
Game Night Games and Cool Stuff for
Yeah.
all of your gaming needs. They host our friends Games from the North. Their podcasts every Thursday, as well as others. Go to them on 519 Osborne Street. Make sure you check them out.
Oh, yeah.
We are there Fridays for Kill Team. Everyone just comes up, and whoever's there plays whomever's there. A lot of us go for drinks after. It's fantastic. Cannot recommend them enough.
Yeah, and they're open this Friday, right?
Yes,
Even though it's
they
Good
are.
Friday. Yeah, we're still doing Kill Team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're still doing
okay.
Kill Team. This Friday is the Mission 2 launch event
Right.
for Echoes of Eternity. It is now month 2 of our sold out league. Drum roll, drama. Echoes of Eternity is sold out. It's super exciting.
I got in at the last second. I was so excited.
Last second.
Thanks to Cliff. He's the one that told me. And he's
Yeah.
like, go see Josh, producer Josh, at game night. And I was like, okay.
Yeah.
It was a Friday, I think, or maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
And I was like, here, take my money.
I mean,
have it. Just have it.
It's twist my rubber arm, right?
Yeah.
We're going to check in and chat with a second, but first, so the Mission 2 is live on the website right now. We have our launch event this Friday. We're going to have printouts this Friday, but if you want to check out the mission first, go to the 40 Below Gaming website. It'll load in a second. There we are. So 40belowgaming.com/killteam. And you'll be able to sort of scroll through the website, and towards the bottom, you'll see the round 2 mission is live. You'll be able to click on it. It is a Google Doc that popped up in a browser over here I don't want. But it is Google Doc. It'll then get shared with your Google account. You can print it off from there and you can study it. You can start playing missions now.
Okay.
If you're at game night right now watching on your phone, which incredible dedication. Appreciate it. You can play the round 2 mission right now. And just make sure when you report your scores, you report your scores, your models killed, where you played, and who you played against. To the 40 Below Gaming page on Facebook, and we will get your scores recorded.
That would be pretty awesome if someone did just right up now play Mission 2 at game night. I would want to meet that person.
I would be so stoked. We'd figure out something special for you.
Yeah. Bow down to that person.
Definitely. No, and just a quick note, we did take in some feedback from the Mission 1 of the League. So the way Mission 2 works with the scoring, it's got its scoring methods, which are based on objectives that you have to control instead of straight kills.
Yeah.
But if a kill team breaks, no longer is it 4-0. Instead, each player will keep the points that they've scored to that point, and the player whose kill team is unbroken gets a 3 victory point bonus for being unbroken. So we had a lot of moments where people were sort of wondering why they effectively lost points at the end, right? Because either their kill team would break, or they would have like 7 or 8 points and then break the enemy kill team, and then all of a sudden they score 4.
Yeah.
So
that's a good call.
Yeah, that was feedback well taken, and we've changed that scoring element for Mission 2 of Echoes of Eternity. Go to the website, 40belowgaming.com/killteam. Hope you enjoy it. Download it, play it. We'll see you Friday at Game Night Games and Cool Stuff on Osborne. So there's a chat happening. Cliff has said, Games from the North, Cliff has said, assuming it makes it past the scouting phase, he is referring to the game I played with him for his league score.
I heard about that.
So, Kill Team has a stage of the game called scouting phase. This happens before deployment, and it represents some of the extra stuff that your team was able to do, because they're awesome special operators ahead of the game.
And they're thinking. They're thinking ahead.
Whether it's booby trapping certain terrain elements, disarming those booby traps, deploying late and seeing how everyone else deploys first, moving ahead, or taking shots at the ones that moved ahead. I often pick option 5, which is the take forward positions. I can pick 20% of the models in my kill team, which for me, let's bring up the list of the week once more, is just 1, because I've only got 5. It's super great that way. Usually I'll just pick the Lictor, and since the Lictor's move is 9 inches, I'll get a free 9-inch move at the, before turn 1 starts, which is very handy.
Worked with your kill team,
Yes, I played Cliff.
Yeah.
And Cliff accurately, skillfully, regretfully selected Eliminate Sentries, which lets you, 20% of the models in your kill team can take shots at models that have chosen take forward positions. And he had a rail rifle pathfinder who had a brilliant shot at my Lictor in the forward position it had taken. I thought I had enough cover. I thought I had enough going on. I did not. He got a couple sixes. The dice god smiled. And my Lictor was dead before the game even started.
Yeah.
So
that's a pretty epic moment, though. You have to admit, right?
I love the memories that the game creates, and that is one.
Yeah.
And I'm going to get revenge.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do the thing.
Yeah.
I'm coming for you. At some point, might be Mission 2, might be Mission 3. At some point, we'll do the thing.
I'm looking for opponents too to practice with if they're going to be patient enough with me. So so please do a shout out, either Games to the North, or you can find me through that page as well under Kelly Brenda, and just message me please if you want to practice against AdMech.
Speaking of messaging you, Cliff has said he he sees me pointing, and B, he has sent a photo of your list to your phone. So we can discuss that in a moment as soon as we pull up your phone.
Thanks, Cliff.
Again, back to the chat, Professor Grant says Broodlord at toughness 8. It is, I hate to correct you, it's toughness 6, but boy howdy, is that still tougher than a lot of other models in Kill Team. So, and 7 models are hard to get through. Yeah, absolutely. So, Kill Team Commanders is an expansion.
Yes.
You've just played Core Kill Team, right?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to do this for 20 minutes.
Okay, you go for it.
So, one of The second expansion ever released for Kill Team was Commanders, and what this did was it let some of the high-level leadership units from Warhammer 40,000 show up in Kill Team. And these are still like your foot sloggers, but they were your big, beefy foot sloggers. For example, Death Watch could take the Watch Captain.
Okay.
Space Marines can take Special Psychers. For me, Tyranids, I could take the Tyranid Prime, which is just a bigger, better warrior.
Yeah.
Or the Broodlord, which is an enormous gene stealer that is overgrown and can now do psychic powers and a whole lot of things. He gets 6 attacks, hitting on 2s, wounding probably on 3s, and doing 3 damage a shot.
That's like a
terrifying. Yeah, he is a Cuisinart. He is a walking salad blender. He will march up to you.
Yeah.
If you're not careful or tough, you are ribbons. It's a red wedding.
Just gone. Yeah.
So yeah, it is very tough to take down. I have found the Commanders is interesting because it kind of balances out the factions a fair bit.
Okay.
In core Kill Team, the Eldar, the Space Elves, and the Orcs sometimes suffer because their special things that make them special in 40k don't necessarily translate when it's strictly infantry scale.
I could see that.
Eldar can move and shoot without penalties, which is nice, but not super great. Orcs usually horde and mob up, but at that point you're more exposed to break tests and morale checks and things.
Okay.
But the commanders that they can bring in, once you bring in the commanders games, balance that out a bit. You get some leadership fixes, you get some more powerful guns for the Eldar.
Yeah.
Like, I have enjoyed my commanders games a lot.
And that's coming into the league as well, you were saying?
We're not running that in Echoes of Eternity, but in a subsequent league.
Okay. Perfect.
We're
that works for
probably
me.
going to do things
I
like...
need time.
Yeah, exactly, right? We're probably going to do things like campaign rosters
Makes
and casualty
sense.
rolls, like the full shebang.
Yeah.
This league is just,
Love it.
let's get a whole bunch of people excited about Kill Team and working on stuff, and then we'll do another league later.
Hey, it's working. I'm like, the proof is in the pudding.
Yes.
I'm the pudding. I'm chocolate pudding. Or whatever flavor you like.
Have no response. Professor Grant has corrected me in the chat. His custom specialty can get him to 7. Plus Iron Neuron makes him 8 with 7 wounds. Okay, that is true. I have not played with the custom commander specialism of the Broodlord. I've only used the one from the commander's rulebook. There are each commander for most of the factions has been released in a special blister pack. So you can get Nemesis 9 Tyrantus, a specific Broodlord who's got his own specialism tree.
Okay.
And the same for AdMech and several other factions.
Oh.
So yeah.
I like it.
It is definitely a time.
Are those the ones that come in individual?
Yeah.
Okay, I've seen them
boxes.
around. Yeah, I just wasn't. I knew that they were commanders. I honestly did not know what they did. I figured that they were just like super powerful and makes sense.
Yeah, no, they are quite good. I have enjoyed the time a lot. Yeah. What are you excited about for Mission 2? Like, what are you going to do next, do you think?
I don't know. There's so much. I'm just excited to play again, to be honest, because I need to play more to get it ingrained and really feel out the strategy, I think. And figure out, like I said, maybe try and do a second team and see what works for what. Which will help me build some too, which I really enjoyed doing. So that was the first time actually I've ever built anything like that, other than like model cars when I was a teenager, probably.
Yeah.
So that was really fun actually, but that was the frustrating part originally because I was like, I have no idea what I'm doing. But I've really enjoyed that part of it. Yeah.
How did you get over that? Like, what was your...
I cried a little. I won't lie.
Yeah,
Cliff's like,
there.
yep. Yeah, I had a bit of a meltdown that first night, and then that was the night where I was like, can I do this? But that's my perfectionist side as well, being like, okay, no, I gotta let this go, and I can, and you know what, I understood then that you can customize it, and I've had fun with the customization. I was explaining to you just before we started the broadcast about a couple nights ago, I created my Infiltrator Princeps and the other Sicarian Ruststalker, whichever one it is.
Yep.
Sorry.
No worries.
And I had so much fun, and it turned out, like, the look of them turned out actually better than I had expected and better than what I was seeing on the instruction booklets. It just fit better with my team, and I felt like it was something I created, right? So that was fun. Yeah.
Excellent.
Like I said, I don't know if they're going to be painted anytime soon, but...
We don't have a requirement for painting.
I'm really glad.
For that reason.
Really glad.
So speaking of your list,
Yes.
Cliff has sent it to your
Yes.
phone. Let's take a look. Talk us through what you've got.
All right.
And we'll analyze it. And again, if you've got questions about Kill Team, feel free to ask them in the chat. I and Kelly will answer them, and we'll do the thing, and it'll
I'll
be great.
answer them.
You will absolutely.
I'll answer
Some of them
them.
might be for you, because again, I am steeped in wargaming at this point.
Yeah.
I've been with Affordable Gaming for several years, and I've just
Like
dove in head first.
overdone green tea steeped.
Yeah, like the kind you get at Sal's house at 2 in the morning. It's just been there for 3 days.
Yeah.
I'm not, but so my perspective is different from someone who's just leaving
That makes
in.
sense.
So there are
Yeah.
questions that could be asked of you.
Okay. Well, he sent me the left side that shows like the name and what they are. So
Okay.
I think it's because the names are the most hilarious part.
Oh,
I had
okay.
fun with them.
All right.
The very first character I made, we named Frank. I named Frank
Okay.
because my dog's name is Frank. If you watch Games to the North, you'll see him pop up on our Instagram once in a while in our videos. And he can be kind of an arsehole once in a while.
Oh, dear.
And Frank was the first character I built. That was that night where I was like breaking down, like I don't know what I'm doing.
Oh.
So I called him Frank the asshole, or he's Frank. He is a Skitarii Vanguard gunner,
Nice.
plasma caliber, and he's got the enhanced. What was it called? Enhanced. Oh my gosh! Someone help! Enhanced Omnispecs is the other one. It's cut off. Anyways,
We'll call this
that's
up in a
okay.
second.
That's okay.
He is a Skitarii Vanguard.
Vanguard gunner. Yeah. So that's
Excellent.
okay though.
No, we're going to do this.
Enhanced data tether. It came to me.
Enhanced data tether.
Yeah, there's
There we
two
go.
things in the add mech that you can add. You get to add one to each of the Skitaris. So one of the Vanguards and one, if you want to, one of the Skitarii Rangers. So my Frank the asshole got the enhanced data tether with his plasma caliber.
Yeah.
Really liked the plasma caliber. It performed pretty well. So
Yeah, definitely.
I originally had 2 different characters with plasma caliber upgrades, but little did I realize the kits don't come with 2 plasma calibers.
That's always the struggle.
I just
right?
so that was
always
part of
like
that
a hot dog
realization.
bun
That's like,
problem.
that's okay though. I made it work. I also have Larry. He is the leader, of course. Larry leader. He's my Skitarii Vanguard Alpha, power
Excellent.
sword, and phosphorus blast pistol. What else? Okay, so I found that
Does Frank have a specialism?
he does not.
Okay.
No.
But he's just the first. He was the asshole.
He was the first. He was the asshole.
Struggle.
Yep.
All
He
right.
doesn't get to be a specialist.
That's fair.
Just kidding. He's a pug. He's a pug.
He's going to be a veteran in a second.
Oh yeah.
All right. So Frank and Larry the leader.
Yes. I also have my Skitarii Ranger Alpha. I named a couple of them off of the charts they provide, but then I
Okay.
kind of made up nicknames based on that. That's where some of these, I don't know, I found funny. Most people are probably gonna be like, whatever, but
I mean, like humans have to call it the humans thing,
Yes.
regardless of how human they might be.
yes. My Skitarii Ranger Alpha, he's got the arc pistol with a power sword, I believe it says here.
Okay.
So his full name is actually DOS, like DOS dash Eki, EKII-7. You can see where I'm going with this.
Yeah.
So,
I'm surprised he's not
Dos Equis.
Doseki-20.
What would that be, like a 20
Like
pack?
the double X.
Oh, that's a good point. I never thought of that. I don't know. I just looked at the numbers and I was like, that looks good.
Yeah, that's
So his nickname is Dos Equis.
Nice.
And then we've got my Skitarii Ranger Gunner with the arquebus. Is that what arquebus?
I think it's arquebus.
Arquebus.
Like there's a little bit of a in the middle.
Yeah. His name is Sergeant Pugsley, from a very popular YouTube video with a sniper pug.
I
Anyways.
need to know the address for this video.
Yes,
Someone needs
yeah,
to-
yeah.
If you're on the internet,
If you're on
the
there,
chat right now.
it's very popular, and yeah, Sergeant Pugsley. If you look that up on YouTube, I'm sure you can post it. And then I've got my Skitarii Ranger Gunner. His name is Radar because he's my comm. So
That makes sense.
yeah, throwback to MASH, of
wonderful
course,
MASH
of course.
Professor Grant says Gizmo the Pug is watching.
Aw.
It is a pug day. Let me tell you. We're
Wait,
hosting
Gizmo the Pug. I'm trying to figure out who you are.
You can message this and we'll find out because I'm
like-
curious too.
I know.
Yeah.
Anyways, okay.
All right.
So then I've got an infiltrator Princeps. That's one of the ones that goes melee and went hard.
Okay, that's the Sicarian infiltrator.
Yes. Yeah. So that one's got the Flechette Blaster, I believe it is, and the Taser Goad or Goad. Goad. So that one's name is N-IX-7,
Nice.
and I shortened it to Nix. Nyx
Yeah.
is actually a name of a character I used to have in one of the RPGs we played.
Oh my good lord,
So-
that taser good. Each roll of 6+ with this weapon generates 3 hits rather than 1.
Right?
I'm keeping you far away from me.
Uh-oh, he's getting tips. And my last one is the Rustwalker Princeps, which is
Okay.
Decima-1/1/2.
Okay.
Short for, and it's short into Dex. That one I honestly can't remember, but it's very similar to the Infiltrator Princeps.
Yeah.
Basically, it's got the transonic blades and the Chord Claw.
Yeah.
And one of those, I think it's the Dex, is my Zealot, which I thought was pretty cool. I just like how hardcore the Zealot sounded. So it's I think I'm saying that
that's
right.
fair.
Zealot. I keep wanting to say Zealot. Whatever.
All good.
And I can't remember. Okay, so Comms, Zealot, Leader, and the other one's escaping me. It's on the other part of the
If
list.
you got to
Sorry.
hit us up
Yeah,
with the second
can you?
side of that
Yeah.
page. That'd be
It's like a
great.
puzzle.
Yeah, like I think comms and a zealot melee is actually quite a strong choice. It's a
Is it?
balanced
Okay.
choice because
Tell me why it was a good choice.
so in my opinion, and this has been my limited experiences in the games, AdMech are a very solid, flexible middle of the road army. They
Yeah.
don't trend too heavily into melee or ranged
Yeah.
or elites or hordes.
Yeah.
You can bring a ton of AdMech models. You can bring very few.
Seems like it. Yeah.
You can bring some solid ranged and some solid melee in any given list. So they're starting from a very solid, flexible middle point.
Okay.
And a lot of teams and a lot of people, when they're constructing kill teams, will try and maximize certain aspects of their team.
Okay.
My Tyranids kill team that we talked about earlier is maximizing melee with a
Right.
couple of really good guns, but mostly it is, I'll sit back here with these guns and shoot you, but eventually I will charge with
Yeah.
my huge monsters. I will get into melee because they are incredible at that.
Yeah. Sounds like
So
it.
other players can sort of count on me eventually moving forward and planning accordingly. AdMech,
Okay.
they don't have to do that because
Yes.
you've got a very flexible strategy.
Yeah.
And when you go in two directions like that, when you make sure you've got a zealot specialist
Mm-hmm.
who gets +1 strength and an additional attack on turns in which they've charged, making them very good for just like charge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then go and then charge
Yes.
and then
Basically
maximizing.
keep you on your butt.
Yes. And Adeptus Mechanicus have a ton of high AP weapons which will
Yeah.
help get through highly armored targets.
Yeah.
That's quite good because people will plan for, okay, there's a zealot there, I gotta worry about melee. And then you're hanging back with your sniper and your other specialist.
Right, and you're
Sorry,
like-
your comms and your other
And you're like, pew
specialist.
pew, though.
It's like, you thought you had me pinned down,
Yeah.
now you don't.
I realize why this calls to me now because I'm not a very good decision maker. So
Okay.
that's why I think this called to me was the flexibility, like you're saying. And now that I've had the one game, I kind of want to make that second one with like one more towards melee, off of range, try that, and then maybe vice versa.
Yeah.
And then I can just build extra characters and then go into the other games you're talking about where you have like 20 characters, right? In
Yes.
the skill team and stuff like that.
Command
Yeah.
rosters,
Yeah.
which lets you pick 100 points from a complete set of 20 characters for whichever mission.
Right.
For example, in Arena, which is another expansion for Kill Team that I love to death. You'll usually find me playing Arena Friday nights at game night. It's set inside spaceship corridors.
Oh,
So
okay.
Professor Grant has commented in the chat, "Game over, man! Game over!" Like those Aliens references.
Yeah.
And often when I'm talking about Kill Team or
Yeah.
Arena, I'll be like, "It's the movie Aliens, but in game form."
Yeah.
You're
I want to
doing-
try that.
It's fantastic.
Okay.
It changes things up a bit because the spaceship corridors really limit how much you can shoot at and from
Yeah.
where. So all of a sudden, the big guns that some factions can bring don't really dominate the game as much because they simply can't see as
That makes
much of
sense.
the map.
Yeah.
And the other thing that it does, which really sort of balances things out towards melee and towards teams with larger models, is doors.
Okay.
And you might not think doors are a huge thing, but let me tell you, Internet, doors in Arena are wonderful when you've got a large amount of door control.
Okay.
When I'm playing Arena, instead of like my 5 model list, I will usually drop one of the Tyranid warriors
Okay.
and instead take 5 or 6 Hormagaunts or Termagants.
Okay.
Lots of little Griblies because in Arena, you can activate a door either if you start your move within an inch of a door and don't move,
Okay.
or if you end a normal move within an inch of a door.
That makes sense. Yeah.
You can activate the door, it opens, it closes. If there's
Okay.
an enemy on the other side, they can contest it with a roll.
Yeah.
If there's an enemy in the middle and they contest it and they fail, they'll take a mortal
Oh, wow.
wound.
Wow.
Yeah.
Does that basically mean they get stuck in the door?
Yes.
Is that how they get
Shove it up to
immortal?
their side and they take the thing. And yeah, especially in Arena, being able to control doors and lock off entire zones of the map to people is very strong. I played an Arena doubles game, so myself and Thurston, who is another host of the Dusty Auspex. I was playing this Tyranids heavy door control list. He was playing the Gellerpox Infected, who are a custom Nurgle-themed kill team that came in the Rogue Trader expansion, who have a lot of shenanigans around doors, which is great, against my wonderful patient father and his Necron kill team, and my very good friend Michael and his Deathwatch kill team.
Okay.
And Necrons and Deathwatch both have very relatively expensive high elite point models at this stage. So, if you're using them to open doors, it better be good. The turn starts. My father uses some Necron to open a door. Michael uses one of his extremely specialized 20-point Adeptus Astartes, I think Storm Shield model or a frag kind of guy to open a door. So they're trying to set up the match, right? And then Thurston runs up with his curse mite, a little bug thing, and closes a door in front of them. And I run up with a couple of Hormigons because their speed's 8 inches. And the first one fails to close the door, but the second one succeeds at closing the door.
Nice.
So we're playing bellhop, and we're having ourselves a time. And Thurston's huge models get to move into the center of the map and control the objective there.
Okay.
And I can move my Venom Cannon Heavy and my comms guy so that they can cover the center of the map. Okay. And we just danced around, laughing quietly, snickering behind the doors that they couldn't open, while these Adeptus Astartes and Necrons are like,
let us in, let us do our thing.
Yeah. And we did quite well in that game, simply because we were able to lock off sections of the map and, control more of it, despite being filled with what would normally be just cheap cannon fodder models. Yeah. Arena changes things up that way, and I adore it that way. Okay. So if you have the chance, join us for Arena Fridays, Kill Team Game Night. I've done the plug. I'm not going to do it
I have a question.
more extensively. We have a question.
I'm like,
what's up?
Hands up, so I don't interrupt your plug.
No, it's all
good. So with you and Thurston, is it like 2 people against 2 people then with Arena?
Yes. Okay. So Kill Team itself can support up to 4 players, which is different from Warhammer 40,000. Okay. Usually Warhammer 40,000 is either 1 player against 1 player, or in rare sort of casual variants, a team of 2 players against a team of 2 players. Okay. Kill Team can do free for all 4 players. Okay. But with Arena, they release rules for doubles games, which is awesome. A team of 2 against a team of 2. So it was Thurston and I playing 2 different variants of lots of Gribbly Horde units against my father and Michael, who were playing very powerful units that for some reason just couldn't deal with the door.
That would be really frustrating if I was on their side.
I was elated.
I can imagine.
I was just dancing with joy. It was a time.
It sounds like a great movie, actually, kind of like Aliens, right?
Yes, very much. My dad says in the chat, favorite moment closing the door. Thank you. I'm glad you have that sense of humor about it. Rely on that when it comes to Christmas later. And Professor Grant says, I'll bring down my Space Hulk tiles for a game. Yes, I'm sure that would be great. I am certain that Space Hulk would provide good kill team terrain as well. So, yeah. Last thing I wanted to get to today is, or before I start doing just a bunch of housekeeping, is Elites is an expansion that's rumored to come out later this year. And once again, we've had it... We've had this up the whole day. If you've got any questions about Kill Team, ask them in the chat. Kel and I will answer them, whether it's from the perspective of a new player or seasoned player, and we'll help break down the barriers to getting into the probably, in my opinion, the best skirmish game since Mordheim. Maybe even better than Mordheim, but don't tell producer Scott that. Don't tell Scott Beer that. He might get away with it. I think it's...
I didn't hear that. What was that?
It's fine.
Don't tell producer Scott what?
That I might think Kill Team's better than
Oh.
Yeah, Elites is an expansion that's coming out. So again, this is an expansion that's probably going to open up new units for a set of factions within Kill Team. Okay. So Adeptus Mechanicus will probably get Cataphren Destroyers and other things, which are like tank robots that have big guns sitting on them. Yeah. So I know that Tyranids are probably going to get Zoanthropes and Raveners. And Zoanthropes are big psychic brain bugs that just float creepily.
Nice.
And Raveners are like literally burst from the pipes melee things, which are going to be great. It's been confirmed that Tau are getting crisis suits.
Okay.
So Cliff, I have crisis suits for sale that I will charge you an incredibly high price. We'll talk.
Maybe have a barter system there.
Probably. And Adeptus Custodians, which is my other Warhammer 40,000 army, are going to be in Kill Team for the first time.
Nice.
Because their whole thing is they're the bodyguards of the Emperor, so like they're the best of the Imperium. Their base ground grunt level guy is 50 points in the main game. So I'm excited to see how they do that in Kill Team.
So how would that work though? Because you would need more points in order to include those guys, right?
They haven't said.
Okay, they haven't really said.
I did manage to spot on the Warhammer official Instagram page someone asking that same question. How would Custodes work? Their exact turn of phrase was,
or really
you
any
could
of
only
the
bring
guys.
like 2 guys.
Yeah.
And
that's
the Warhammer official account response to that guy was, you're going to bring like 2 guys. So I don't know if like if you run an elite specific mission that changes the team minimum requirement.
Maybe.
Because right now you have to field a minimum of 3 models, one of which must be a leader.
Yeah.
Or if they're going to change that rule for the game as a whole, or if Adeptus Custodes get a special, you're in gold, so you only one of your guys has to show up.
Yeah, we're not going to worry about you.
We're gonna find out about that in elites, but
it's like an exception for them. That's exciting to hear, though.
Yeah,
I really need. I want to get lots of games in so I can like really understand my team and learn the strategy, and then that way when that hits, I'll figure out, do I still have AdMech or have I moved on? You know, or added a different type of kill team because I've thought about chaos.
Yeah. And because it's Kill Team, you can get started with like just a box of another faction. It's great. I have Tyranids. I secretly have Tal, although I haven't brought them out like 4 or 5 months
not a secret
because they're
anymore.
unpainted. It's totally a secret. No one watches this. I'm sorry. And she looks at the chat. Where would I find out what's coming out for Elites for Necrons? We don't know yet. Usually what Games Workshop does is... The day something's set to come out, the week before that is all previews for that thing, and then on the Saturday you'll be able to pre-order it for its release for the following Saturday.
That's cool.
So if, let's say, Kill Team is scheduled to come out June 8th, it's not. It's not. Please don't take this as news. I'm just hypothesizing. Then the last week of May would be Kill Team Elites information, where we would find out what you could take for Elites from Necrons and all of the factions. Then that Saturday, the previews would be done, and you'd be able to pre-order Elites, and it would show up in Games Workshop or Game Night Games and Cool Stuff presenting sponsor 2019, 2020, and beyond for you to then play with.
Okay.
Professor Grant asked, that's what they did for Commander. It went to 200 points. That it is. Commander games are 200
Oh,
points.
okay.
That Broodlord I was talking about starts at 131 points.
Wow.
So again, I can only take monsters. I can take that and a couple guys and a lot of Gribblies, and that's it. So their solution for Commander, for those more expensive leader type models, was to up the points level.
Okay.
That's another thing they could do in Elites. You're absolutely right. Up the points level for individual
I kind of hope
missions.
they do a little bit. It would be nice, a nice segue, I think, because I've heard constantly actually that Kill Team is a gateway drug into Warhammer 40,000.
It is.
So I feel like that would be a smart move on their part too. You know, like kind of add a little more of the drug into the system.
They have
Let it disperse.
Yeah, they have done that with. Rogue Trader has missions that goes up to 150 points.
Okay.
Commanders has missions that go up to 200 points, so Elites could do absolutely the same thing. I kind of hope they don't do beyond 200 points, because then it will stop feeling like Kill Team.
Yes.
However, stay tuned. I'm going to announce exclusively in this Kill Team exclusive show that if and when we do a second Kill Team League later in 2019, we will be playing with probably Commander's rules for at least one mission, and or Elites. You'll have some flexibility that way.
That's exciting. Exciting.
And this is to say nothing of possible kill team missions showing up in tournaments, etc. that we run.
Ooh.
Stay tuned to 40 Below Gaming on Facebook and the Dusty Auspex podcast, Mondays at 7:30 here at twitch.tv/40 Below Gaming.
I would love to see Kill Team at your tournaments because I've stopped it. I've seen a couple just stopped in at tournaments or random playing at game night, and I would love to be part of it. But then I just joined Kill Team, right? So there's a lot to it. So I feel like it would be fun to have like a couple side games of Kill Team going on.
Absolutely,
feels like my kind of jam.
That is definitely something that I can confirm to you we're working on.
Awesome.
We should have some Kill Team tournament things happening within the near future.
Okay.
Details aren't settled yet, but it's in the back of our heads.
This newbie likes it.
Thank you. And by the back of our heads, I mean the front of what I'm saying in the back of Scott and Fabio, as I just plant ideas in their minds and then we go do the thing. It's fine.
Yeah.
So.
You're also chaos, by the way. You embody chaos, I think, a little bit.
That's deeply terrifying.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you just talked about being like a parasite, basically, like latching on. Yeah.
Well, like I'm there.
I have a very vivid imagination.
Things like I'm used to parasite analogies through Tyranid balls, but oh dear. Okay. So
it's a compliment, trust me.
If you have any, we're at an hour and 15.
Wow.
So I'm probably going to wrap it up here. If you have any questions or concerns for me about Kill Team, if you in the chat have anything, ask away.
I think the one thing I wanted to ask you during this was, now that I have my Kill Team, I'm trying to figure out who I can discuss with looking at my team, because the problem is, like, I might play a lot of people, and it's not about, like I don't want you to see my team, but I'm wondering if it's gonna, like, skew our games going forward if I like discuss my team with someone, like you or Thurston, or you know, I've tried to keep it apart from Cliff because I knew we were gonna play that first game together, right? And just keep it as fresh as possible, I guess, right?
So there are a couple of resources you can go to.
Okay.
First thing, I've noticed that very few people in Winnipeg are actually like that. I have never known someone to, you know, be a confidential, like, to be confided in about a list, and then use that against the player in the next game. I don't think that happens. Everybody that I've run into as part of 40 Below Gaming and I've played has been, like, just giving you the best advice they can. Because they want the best games and the best opponents.
That's good to hear. I wasn't sure about that because I'm almost a little, like, scared or timid to, like, go up to people and be like, am I allowed to show you my list? That's where I'm at. I'm like, can I show you my list?
Come up to us, come up to the internet.
Yeah.
So if you come up to us at Fridays at game night, we'll absolutely be happy to give you list advice. I know I will.
Okay.
However, I'll also note that 40 Below Gaming has a Discord that I'm going to find the link for right away.
Okay.
And on our Discord, we have several chat channels. And they are for the game as a whole and also for discussion of Kill Team. We have, in fact, 2 Kill Team channels.
Nice.
One of which is Kill Team in general, and one of which is specifically dedicated to Echoes of Eternity, the League.
Nice.
And there's a lot of people who are very active in there and very happy to discuss any kind of a list at all.
Yeah.
So I'm going to drop this Discord link in the chat right now because I've found it.
Thank you.
I am impressed with myself for actually having a conversation when I managed to do that. Like, don't tell anybody, but multitasking.
That was impressive.
So the Discord link is going in the chat right now.
Okay. Yeah, because also I was concerned about, like I'm a bit shy about it because I'm like, this is my team and I'm a newbie, and I'm just like, I did a little bit of research, but I didn't want to, like, skew also my team with, like, trying to soup it up or whatever. I wanted to, like, feel it out and really get to know it, right? And do what feels right. So I'm a little bit like, this is my team, don't hate it.
No one's going to do that. The first thing everyone will tell you when you're considering anything new in wargaming, whether it's 40k or Kill Team or Sigmar or the Lord of the Rings wargame or anything else, is rule of cool. Play what excites you. Because you're going to be spending a ton of time with these models, building them, painting them, finally getting them to the tabletop, and hopefully playing them in game after game after game. So if they don't excite you, you're going to find yourself dissatisfied. You're going to get disenchanted. And I'm going to be frank, this is one of the reasons that I don't play Tau all that much. I have found that I enjoy melee and I enjoy playing to the objectives and the missions a lot more than the Tau playstyle. Like, it's wonderful and valid, and it scratches a gaming itch. It just doesn't scratch my gaming itches. They usually hang back and fire. So it's fun at a kill team level sometimes, but in 40k, I want to be doing more than pointing at models and rolling dice. So I have been flexing from Tau to Adeptus Custodes. Not that I'm a huge Imperial fan, although I did read the novel Master of Mankind and like them, but because they are super tough and super forgiving for a playstyle like mine where I make a ton of mistakes. And they often have to play to the objective because they're so expensive, they have so few models. So I enjoy that more than castling up and firing dice at something. Castling up's valid,
that's fair,
but like rule of cool, I need to play what I find interesting. No one is going to look down on you for being like, no, this is just what I like. That's how everybody starts. Don't ever worry about that. All right.
There was a follow-up I was thinking of. I just can't remember what it was now. But
people looking down on you for your list, being worried about approaching people, talking about it.
Oh, it was about the melee. Sorry.
Okay.
Because I was thinking of how you were saying Tau doesn't necessarily work for you, but I was thinking about how Cliff loves it. I think.
He does.
And I think it's interesting because I can tell the different strategies both of you have, and it's kind of fascinating to see how your brains tick with it. And I think for me, I grew up on Unreal Tournament and FPS games and Call of Duty, and I tend to go more for the melee, I find, because that was my strategy in those games. So now I'm trying to feel it out and see, okay, that's I think why I'm tending towards melee, but do I really want to go that way? So that's sort of where I'm at, a bit of a conundrum is do I really want to stick to what my gamer profile has sort of led to, all my life, or do I want to try something new? So that's why I threw in more of the ranged guns and ranged aspects. But as you can see, I'm sort of tending towards melee. And that's okay.
And that's one of the things I truly love about Warhammer and Kill Team is the fact that there are so many different factions. There are at least 20 to 30-ish different factions. That there's a way to express yourself in any given playstyle through the mechanics of wargaming. So it has been a joy just being able to be okay, I'm going to Tyranids up now. I'm going to be a big monster. You've got to deal with me. Oh no, you can't. Silington.
And you're just this is me.
You score some points.
That's awesome.
So
I've enjoyed that part of it too. It's just getting to know the team. And I think when I was reading the Kill Team book at the start, it talked about how that's sort of was one of the objectives was to really get to know your team rather than have a big number of units that's really just your army, right? Which is fine too, I'm sure, but for someone like me, that's intimidating, right? So as a newbie, this is perfect.
It's intimidating for me too. I'll play 40k with my huge numbers of Tyranids, and sometimes I'll find in order to get a game done in time, I'll just leave some on the objectives here while I concentrate on the units that are doing more meaningful things in the game, and sometimes that's a struggle, but that doesn't happen in Kill Team because every model and every shot is so meaningful.
And that's a perfect way to say it,
Cool. Thank you. So, join us in the Discord. I've linked the Discord in the chat to talk about Kill Team and 40k and everything else we've got going on. Some housekeeping before I wrap up the show. Our Bunker Buster this past Saturday was a huge success. We had 7 tables going. We filled game night. It was a wonderful time. Everybody involved, I'm told, had a blast. Congratulations to Ryan Block, our winner, and to Matt, Sean, and Derek, who won gift certificates to game night at the event.
I'm jealous.
We have to announce the 2 winners for our first Planes of War coupon. These are people who reviewed us on Facebook and followed us on Twitch. They are Dustin Heim. If you're in the chat, you have won a 25% off coupon for a POW ticket. Please message the 40 Below Gaming page on Facebook and claim your prize. And again, if you're in Twitch, let's see if I can pronounce this right. Haraiox. Haraiox.
That sounds right.
Thank you.
That was pretty good.
Message us here on Twitch and we'll make sure you get your discounted ticket to Planes of War, our big annual yearly event. And for the second coupon we're going to announce right now, here are the 2 ways you can get your own 25% off coupon for a Planes of War ticket. If you have joined us in the Discord chat, hey, segue, that was pretty great. If you're in the Discord, in the next week or so, we will be drawing one of our Discord members to receive a 25% off coupon for their POW ticket. And if you subscribe to us on YouTube at youtube.com/40belowgaming, one of those people will be randomly selected to receive a 25% off discount to Planes of War. You can go to our YouTube right now and see many of the past tournaments that we have streamed. The Wheat City Open is our most recent one, and you can say some of the most recent advancements we've made to our overlay with that. We have like adjustable objective markers and live point scoring and things. It's great. It's a time. Check it out. I can also announce that next Monday we do not have a show, but we will be releasing the first 4 episodes of the Dusty Auspex podcast on YouTube for you to watch at that time. So even though we won't be here giving you a new show, you'll have 4 to 5 whole hours of Dusty Auspex that you can go through next Monday, the 22nd. Nice. We won't have a live show.
So they can still get their fill.
They can still absolutely get their fill.
Cool.
Planes of War is 50% sold. Make sure you get your tickets now. You can buy on the website, or you can buy on the website. I don't know why I said "or" there. I need. Just hang on.
I'm gonna do some ASMR while you do that. Just kidding.
Thank you. I appreciate that. POW is 50% sold. Make sure you get your tickets now. You give the hotel code Planes of War to Holiday Inn Polo Park. You will get a 30% discount on your room. And that's significant because they go down from 180 to about 130. It's incredible. And it's just one more thing you don't have to worry about at the day of the event, because it's 6 games. You're playing for 12 hours a day. It's going to be loud. Make sure you can relax there. And sign up for the event on Best Coast Pairings, because it helps us plan, and it helps people who are interested in the event but maybe haven't quite pulled the trigger. If they see a lot of interest, they're more likely to pull the trigger.
That's true.
And it's one more or less, those are words, thing that you have to worry about on the day of the event at 9 a.m. when we're trying to talk to you at the player announcement. So make sure you register for the event on Best Coast Pairings. Bunker Busters coming up. The May one is 40K again. If you want to have a blast just like the people I just talked about, buy your tickets to the May 40K Bunker Buster on our website. They are live now, as is the June Age of Sigmar Bunker Busters. That Age of Sigmar is the fantasy Warhammer game.
Oh, okay.
And we mix it up every so often with the fantasy and the 40K games.
Okay.
So the May Bunker Buster is 40K. The June one is Age of Sigmar. And then after June, we're going to be switching it up to more casual things. We might try things like doubles games. We might try things like a Kill Team Bunker Buster. Stay tuned to the 40 Below Gaming page on Facebook for
Cross
that.
my fingers.
Yeah. And lastly, I'm just going to rattle through all of these sponsors because I'm getting tired. Despite the fact that I'm drinking this, I have chemical problems. So.
Do you want me to read it? Or you probably have to.
You know what? You take the left column.
Okay.
Tell us about your experiences with everything left column. I'll take the right column.
I only know the top one.
All right.
That's Game Night, of course. Game Night Games and Cool Stuff. One of my favorite places on this planet. Do you want me to just read the rest?
Yeah, go for it.
Cape Frontline Gaming.
Wonderful people.
Cape Northern Lights Terrain.
You've seen their terrain on our streams.
Manitoba Model Soldier Society.
They will be paint judging at Planes of War and Twin Eagles this year.
And Holiday Inn Airport Polo Park, which you just talked about.
Site of Planes of War.
Yeah. Do you want to?
Yeah. So, our other sponsors are Seventh Forge Studios. You've seen Matt from Edmonton come out with his wonderfully painted Night Lords list. At previous events last year, he's sponsored us. He's coming back again. Go to them for your commissions. He is a fantastic painter. And check out their podcast, Favorite of Chaos. We've got Battle Foam. If you've ever worried about how to carry your Kill Team models or your Army models or anything, like, they're not going to stop you. It's just pluck them. Get Battle Foam. Their cases and their foam trays have been wonderful. Best Coast Pairings we talked about. They are a company that creates an app, and it's just great for tournament organizers because it lets you schedule tournaments, plan them, assign pairings, handle the lists, everything you need to do. Best Coast Pairings. Nice. They are fantastic. CM Engraved does all of our trophies and all of our other sort of physical objects that we haul around to these events time and time again. We've got the trophy right there. There's a side for each of our events.
Pretty.
I can tell you, Thurston, if you're in the chat right now, I saw the correct shield for the 2018 Highlander winner, and it has your name on it. Fabio just hasn't put it on the trophy yet. It's actually...
Oh, I was wondering what that was. It looks like a sheriff's badge. I love it.
Yeah. So Thurston, he's got it right here.
Congratulations.
If he doesn't put it on by the next event, mock him. Mock him.
I mean...
CM Engraved. Sorry?
You mock him anyways.
We can.
I'm just kidding. That would be mean. Don't take my advice.
Engraved for all of your trophy needs. I Want That Stuff. Wonderful gaming store out in Brandon. A bunch of us are heading out there, including all of the 40 Below Gaming admins, Fabio, Scott, and I, each with our own teams, because we want to play, and driving to Brandon means we get to play. Because if it's happening in Winnipeg, we're probably running it.
Yep.
And finally, aybonline.com. Fine sponsors of most of our broadcast gear, including our mics and our mixing boards. Check them out. They've got gaming news happening on their website. They have stuff happening at C4. This has been episode 4 of season 6 of the Dusty Auspex podcast. Before we go, Kel, plug Games in the North. What have you got going on? Tell the people.
Oh gosh. Spotlight. Just kidding.
Yeah, it's been right
Literally
there
the spotlight.
whole time.
I just noticed it.
Oh, okay.
I'm that much of a geek.
Right.
Games in the North, I guess you'll see. Oh, actually, you'll see us tomorrow. We have Geek Chat. We have our monthly Geek Chat.
Nice.
The 3 of us should be there. We talk everything geeky, so please come join us. We love feedback in the comments, and if you will respond to your comments, we talk about everything up to date. So there's gonna be some Endgame in there, I'm assuming.
Yeah, that's fair.
So come join us for that. And then Thursdays are usual Games from the North at Game Night, Games and Cool Stuff with Cliff for our RPG. We also have Extra Life guests coming, as far as I know, for an interview and then also playing with us. So I'm going to be stepping out of that game and just helping. So you'll see some new players that round.
Excellent.
And that'll be fun. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. Thank you for having me.
No problem. Thank you for coming. It has been a joy. This is the Dusty Auspex podcast. If you're not rolling ones, you're cheating. I'm going to hit the button now.